Hi friends, welcome to the lecture on group delay and phase delay. Before we study about group delay and phase delay, we must know what is the fundamental requirement of distortionless transmission. Why I am insisting is that whenever we transmit anything from transmitter, what is the first thing we expect? We expect that the transmitted information should reach the receiver without any distortion or without being corrupted from any noise or other interference. This is what our fundamental requirement whenever we design any system. In order to satisfy that fundamental requirement, your system should fulfill the equation y of t is equal to k into x of t minus t naught. Why this equation? Let us start with one example. Let x of t is the information you want to transmit or a signal you want to transmit. Any signal will take some amount of time to reach the receiver. It may be millisecond or microsecond or nanosecond, but it will take some time. So after some time delay only, it will reach your receiver. Let us take that time delay is t naught. So x of t is a transmitted signal, but we never receive x of t, we receive x of t minus t naught because of some time delay. And during the transmission, what will happen? The signal may be corrupted by any noise or interfered by some other signal. So amplitude gets changed. It may be either increased or decreased. So instead of amplitude, I put k. The k may be, if it is 1, the k may be more than 1 or less than 1 from the input amplitude. One is the, let us assume one is the amplitude of input signal, but that k may be either greater than 1 or less than 1. So this is what my received signal. So this received signal is nothing but your y of t. So x of t is a transmitted signal. What I receive in the receiver is y of t. That y of t is equal to k into x of t minus t naught. This is a time domain representation of any communication system. Any communication system should satisfy this requirement first. So let us find how this requirement is in frequency domain. So y of t is equal to k into x of t minus t naught. So how to represent this requirement in frequency domain? Let us take Fourier transform. So y of t is equal to k into x of t minus t naught. Take Fourier transform of y of t, that will be y of omega. K is a constant. Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught is x of omega into e power minus j omega t naught. It is a time delay property of Fourier transform. Bring x of omega to the left hand side. So y of omega is equal to x of omega. Sorry, y of omega by x of omega, that is given by h of omega. That is equal to k into e power minus j omega t naught, where h of omega is known as frequency response of the system. So frequency response should be equal to k into e power minus j omega t naught. So h of omega is equal to k into e power minus j omega t naught. So since it is a complex number, I can take both magnitude and phase. So magnitude of h of omega is k, mod k is k, mod e power j omega t naught is 1. So h of omega magnitude is 1. Similarly, phase of h of omega is given by minus omega t naught, because this is the only phase component. So I can write directly it is minus omega t naught. If you want to know the derivation, you apply Euler's equation and you can find the phase. So magnitude response is k and phase response is minus omega t naught. So this is the requirement to be fulfilled by your communication channel whenever you are transmitting the signal. So that's what I have written here. So a channel or a transmission system should satisfy y of t is equal to k into x of t minus t naught in time domain, or in frequency domain h of omega is equal to k. H of omega is nothing but frequency response. Modulus of h of omega is nothing but magnitude response. or magnitude of the frequency response. Simply I call it as magnitude response. So magnitude response is equal to k. We know that k is a constant. So magnitude response should be constant for any distortionless transmission. Similarly, phase response, here T naught is a constant, so phase is varying with respect to omega only, so it is linearly proportional. So magnitude response should be constant and phase should be linear for achieving any distortionless transmission. It is a fundamental requirement of any communication engineering. Please remember this. Magnitude response should be constant and phase response of the system should be linear. It should be linear function of frequency. Right? So now what I do is I draw the pictorial form, right? So whenever I want to draw a pictorial form, say, let me delete it. See, h of omega is equal to k. I draw the magnitude response first. Magnitude response is drawn between omega and mod h of omega. So whatever be the omega value, you put omega vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. Magnitude is always constant k. So it is simply k. It is magnitude response. Similarly, what is phase response? Phase response or phase is varying with respect to frequency omega, but minus. It is linear, so it is going like this. So minus omega t naught, where t naught is a delay that is fixed or constant. So this is a pictorial or graphical representation of a system function. Magnitude response should be constant and phase response should be a linear one with respect to frequency. Even though frequency varies from minus infinity to plus infinity, the magnitude response of the system should be constant and phase should vary linearly with respect to frequency. This you must know. Now we come to the important definition: magnitude distortion and phase distortion. Magnitude distortion is nothing but, we know that whenever we are transmitting the signal, they are traveling in a different path and different mode. So what will happen? As per the Fourier theory, every signal is comprised of infinite number of frequency component. So when we transmit the signal, these frequency component will travel in different paths. During that traveling or during the propagation, they will undergo different change in amplitude. That is called magnitude distortion. So if the different frequency component of the transmitted signal undergo different amplitude change, that is called amplitude distortion. And we know that the signals or frequency component will not travel in a same path. They will take different path and reach the receiver at different time. So during the propagation, they will undergo different delay. So if a different frequency component of our signal undergo different delay, then that is called phase distortion. I can give one analogy for this example. Let us assume in a car race and 10 cars are starting at the same time, like our signal is transmitted from the transmitter at same time. What will happen? One car will come first, some other car will come second, some other car will come third. So different cars undergo different delay. So I can correlate with phase distortion. What about magnitude distortion? During the ride, one car may get accident. So that will totally change the path and it will distort the or corrupt the car. So like that, here the signal will undergo different amplitude change. So accident I can correlate with magnitude distortion and delay I can correlate with phase distortion. Now we come to group delay and phase delay. What is group delay is, if your system is providing delay to the multiple frequency component of your signal, then that is called group delay. If your system is providing delay to only one frequency component or single frequency component of your signal, then that is called phase delay. Group, so multiple. Phase, unique or single delay. So for that also I can compare with the real-time example. You see, in a traffic signal, it is applicable for the signal is applicable for all the cars. So every car has to stop. So the delay is given to all the cars. Whereas if any car is breakdown in the road, not all the cars are stopped, only particular car is stopped in and parked in the particular nearby area. So that is a delay for only one car. So I can correlate that delay to phase delay, whereas delay for all the cars I can correlate to group delay. So group delay and phase delay difference. Group delay is given by the formula Tg is equal to minus d of phase angle h of omega by d omega. Similarly, phase delay is given by Tp is equal to minus phase angle of h of omega by omega. See, how can I got this? We know that just now only we derived the equation h of omega is equal to minus omega T naught. T naught is a delay I told. So T naught is given by minus phase of h of omega divided by omega. That is your phase delay. It is a delay of individual frequency component of the signal. Whereas group delay is delay felt by all the frequency component of your transmitter signal. So this also I can write. I told right. So this is the phase response minus omega T naught. So how I can find the slope? Slope is given by change in y with respect to change in x. So if I differentiate this minus omega T naught, what you get? That is what? Minus h of omega d by d omega. Right? So that is also rate of change of frequency is nothing but your phase. So minus d omega, minus d of h of omega by d omega is another form of representing the delay. That delay is called group delay. Minus d h of omega divided by d omega. It is rate of change of frequency. So we know that rate of change of frequency is nothing but your phase. So it is group delay. Sorry, this is phase delay. And for distortionless transmission system, both group delay and phase delay must be constant, because minus h of omega, we know that it is equal to omega T naught, minus comes here, omega T naught by omega, omega cancel, T naught. Similarly, dh of omega is nothing but minus dh of omega is minus omega T naught. dh of omega, it is simply minus T naught divided by, so it is minus of minus, so T naught. So both are same. So group delay and phase delay are common or constant for distortionless system. And in modulation, the message signal always undergo group delay and carrier undergoes phase delay. Why message is undergoing group delay? Because message is comprising of many frequency component, whereas carrier is only one frequency component. So message undergoes group delay, whereas carriers undergo phase delay. That's all about this lecture. Hope you understand everything very clearly. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me in comment section. I will clarify all your doubts. Thank you.